While topping the news tonight, the government crunching the numbers and making a number of fiscal adjustments due to the impact on Hurricane Dorian on the country. Rinke reports that the Minister of Finance detailed what changes can be expected in a communication in the House of Assembly today.
Minister of Finance and Deputy Prime Minister, the Honourable Peter Turnquest, says the impact of Hurricane Dorian on the country has resulted in the government having to deviate temporarily from its current fiscal plans, with changes taking place to the country's revenue, expenditure and corresponding deficit targets for the fiscal year 2019-2020. The Finance Minister also cited additional costs associated with social assistance programs as well as restoration and reconstruction efforts.
The government is invoking the Exceptional Circumstances Clause 13, which allows for a temporary departure from the fiscal targets because of exceptional events. The projected revenue yield for 2019-2020 has been adjusted downward from the approved estimates of $2,628 million to $2,395.6 million. On the expenditure front, the government expects to spend an additional $182.7 million in hurricane-related outlays.
Turnquest also indicated that the government has identified several spending priorities relating to the public sector and critical infrastructural upgrades.
Capital expenditure is anticipated to increase by $100 million for hurricane initiatives, which will include the restoration of water and electricity in Abaco and Grand Bahama, the provision of temporary housing, vehicle replacement, and other repairs to critical infrastructure, such as hospitals and clinics. Aggregate expenditure is estimated to increase by $302.6 million in fiscal year 2019-2020 to $3,073.1 million.
Turnquest also noted that the government will have to borrow money to finance the increased deficit position.
We now estimate the fiscal deficit to stand at $677.5 million. To finance the increased deficit position, the government will table new resolutions to Parliament for approval to borrow $507.9 million, which is the $540.5 million adjustment in the fiscal deficit, net of the payouts from the Caribbean Catastrophic Risk Insurance Facility of $12.9 million and the $20 million earmarked from the Extinguished Dormant Account Fund.
And apart from the $100 million IDP contingency facility, the Finance Minister says the government will also source funding from domestic banks. Now, following the communication, the Finance Minister also tabled the government's 2019 fiscal report. Fern Carey, ZNS Network News.